Hello, welcome to a video where I'm going to showcase the team that I used to hit Veteran in Ultra League this time around. As you may know, and as you may have noticed, there's very little Cup content on my channel or streams or anywhere. So I play Ultra League, and Ultra League has not been the most exciting, so I haven't played too much Go Battle League. As you see here, I hit 2508 in about 230 battles. I definitely skipped a couple days, but I did get some battles in for sure. Now, you might not like me for the team that I used, but it's Dragonite Double Steel. Wow, who could have thought of that? I do think I'm quite a good player at times, but even myself really struggle with making some teams. I tried some stuff in Ultra League, but it just felt like, you know, I like some new stuff, and it was difficult to find new stuff until I figured, wait, I have a pretty good Alolan Sandslash. It's a rank 33, and it's pretty XL, I think like level 49 or so. And the Registeel obviously very XL. Dragonite, not XL, very usable, or easier to get, right? It's still pretty rare, and it wins about every single lead. There are some wall range, there's very few Alolan Sandslash, there are very few fairies. Unfortunately, what did hold me back a lot with this team is the Swampert in the back. But I did have a really good run with this from like 2300 to 2500 in one day. Let's take a look at these battles. I have 10 battles here. And as you see, I start recording my battles from the 2400s. And I lead into a Galvantula. Now, these are always iffy. I expect something like a Pidgeot in the back usually. Can be anything. I have two pretty fragile Pokemon. Both Dragonite and Alolan Sandslash aren't too bulky. Sandslash is obviously more bulky, but still Shadow. But I need to bait this out. And I like to use Registeel as a damage spawns here. So, sometimes I go Zap Cannon, sometimes I go Focus Blast. I reckon I'm already attack dropped here, so I'm not even going to bother. And I think an Earthquake will take me out here. In Ultra League, Registeel is so crazy bulky that an Earthquake is definitely not the strongest move against you. Unfortunately, this Hydro on Shadow Dragonite does a lot, so that's not great. I don't have a lot of momentum to build up energy here. Let's see what I'm gonna do. I don't even remember this battle too much. I don't think I'm winning this one, but we'll see. Unfortunately, the Swampert survives at 1 HP there. Very unfortunate. And I do get to 2 Dragon Claws here. The problem is, though, do I want to switch out immediately or not? Because, you know, I feint to the next Volt Switch here, which leaves me to be debuffed incredibly easy. I cannot clear it anymore now that my Dragonite is gone. I will take out this Galvantula quite easily. Gonna call this lunch because people love debuffing my attack. And then it really comes down to what's in the back here. They tried to catch an Ice Punch on their Drapion. Sorry, Drapion, that's the correct pronunciation. But unsuccessfully. And Duran from Shadow Alolan Sandslash just is a little bit better. I'm gonna no-shield this. Probably does about as much as the Discharge from Galvantula. Maybe a little bit less. But I feel very little pressure here. I'm even going to just shield this. I know Galvantula does not have an attack, so I can safely build up to 2 attacks here, and that should be very fine. Yeah, I do like Shadow way more than regular Alolan Sandslash because the one thing that holds it back is its defensive typing. That's the one thing you lose your matchups on with Alolan Sandslash because it's either really good or really bad. There's no in between really, so it really helps to get like those Durans off against like Walreins. This is a tricky one. I basically always try to catch an attack here on my Registeel. They usually have Registeel answers in the back, especially with like a poison type. If it's like a Tentacruel lead, there's usually like Scrafty in the back that I have to bait out. If it's also Obstagoon, I just lose. Luckily, I haven't faced it with this team yet, but I did face it the other day. Even my co-host of Stadium Cast, Lundberger, run that, so I'm definitely familiar with that team. His Flamethrower might barely kill, might barely not. Fortunately, it does. I do have a Dragonclaw stored though, and Shadow Skuntank is not the most bulky, so that should take it out here. And I'm hoping that they're not outsmarting me, so hopefully they don't have that Scrafty in the back, but we're gonna see. Dragonclaw comes in, takes it out. It's Tapu Fini. Actually, not even that the worst for Dragonite, and that's a good catch from them. I mean, I had to throw this anyway, so that's kind of fine, I guess. But this gives me so much momentum to build up energy. And it's a good thing that my Dragonite's still healthy, because that Tapu Fini has to throw a Moonblast at this point to take out my Dragonite later. And that's a smart Dark Pulse, which allows them to get to the next charge attack by 1 Shadow Claw less. And I make a mistake here. I get the charge attack priority, which is bad for me, because now they just shield. I have to shield again. And I kind of want to keep my shield for a Surf from Tapu Fini here. Which they do have. I think they have it or they're one turn off. Either way, I'm gonna throw the Duron right away. Hopefully I can catch a Surf on Dragonite. Yeah, you just see that Shadow Power really helps way more in those kind of matchups. Gonna go for Super Power immediately, which might be a mistake. I'm not sure because now the Surf might take me out, but I was afraid. Actually, I thought this would do a little bit more. But I don't think that Tapu Fini has enough momentum to get to 2 moves regardless. As you see, the Surf does take me out after the debuff, but I clawed him down anyway. So that's another win. Dragonite into Gliscor. Again, I don't really lose leads with this Pokemon. And I've been using it for quite a time. I can tell you there's very few Walrein leads. There's always one day that you just lose every single lead. But it hasn't happened really to me so far yet with Dragonite. People don't use the Steel types anymore. Now, I really hate Gliscor leads. The reason why is because there's always a nonsense team behind it, like triple weak to Swampert or double weak to Ice or whatever it is. I never like these teams. I'm just gonna say that I never like these teams. It can be even Swampert in the back. Swampert actually would make some sense. Is Golisopol in the back? Gonna bring in my Registeel to bail out a fighter, and I can tell you something. This is over. If I can land, I need 2 Focus Bloods to take it out. I'm definitely going for the Zapkin to hold this thing down. But I didn't have a good Registeel day. They say Registeel is a very broken Pokemon, and that's true because it doesn't drop the attack of my opponents. And now, yeah. Honestly, I at this time in the battle, I was thinking, should I just top left and, you know, not make my viewers suffer? But I guess that's what you're doing here when you're watching anyway. Watching me suffer or... or you're watching these kind of battles, I guess. Trying to go on Dragonite immediately to force them to throw energy, but I was too late. I couldn't even keep my Registeel for a potential catch. I don't even know why, because Alolan Sanchez loses pretty hard to that Golisopod. I just want to end my suffering here, but my opponent holds me back. They throw a Leaf Blade. I just want to give up here, honestly. I should just top left it. But Alolan Sanchez does really bad against Golisopod as well, because your charge attacks are all resisted. Alright, Dragonite into Clefable. Terrible. I really like Clefable right now with Fairy Wind, because Meteor Mash is such good coverage. It's just Steel types that really wall you. There's, again, the Swampert in the back. I would really think that most Clefables run Psychic just for a little bit better Venusaur coverage. Obviously, there are very few Venusaurs. Oh, look, an attack drop. That's cool. And look at this. Now you're going to see what can make Registeel so good. If you didn't know it yet, that does nothing. That's great. That does about as much as my Focus Blast. This actually won't KO the Swampert yet, but I will be able to shield and lock on down if they let that through. So, good shield by them to keep the switch advantage. Which they do kind of need, but if they have Meteor Mash, a really strong Steel type attack, which is neutral on my other Steel homie, is actually not the worst. You see that I'm never safe switching Alolan Sandslash, because if there's a Scrafty or an Obstagoon on it, it's just over. It just farms me completely down because counters are double super effective. If they would swap in a Swampert or a Charizard on it, it would be alright. Alright, anyway. This is a single attack drop, so I can take a few more Hydros than usual. I can definitely take another one. But my opponent loses their patience. They don't want me to farm 2 energy here. And this is wonderful that I can lock my Alolan Sanchez here now. But I don't know yet what's in the back. They even go for the Moonblast here, which is crazy. I definitely didn't expect that just because they need some Venusaur coverage, I would think. But I guess they don't respect that, which is acceptable somewhat because it's very uncommon, at least in this kind of elo. They do have the Meteor Mash, which, as you can see, does a large chunk. I have no idea who wins charge attack priority. I'm definitely not looking that up right now as I'm talking. These are like Twitch streams sometimes. I'm just doing one recording. It is Scrafty in the back, however. Let me see. It's very close, by the way. But Clefable does win charge attack priority. They tried to catch a move here unsuccessfully, and now my Dragonite. Luckily, they gave up switch advantage, because if they let me take the switch, or sorry, if they just kept switch advantage, right, keep the Clefable on my Dragonite, they would have Scrafty on my Alolan Sanchez, and that's just over. I cannot do anything with that. That's actually a good no-shoot, because that may have been their win con. Next game, Dragonite into Scrafty. Wonderful. I need this here, but it really comes down to what they have in the back. Drifblim. This is a thing I had no... I swapped to my Alolan Sanchez. I was like, hold up. Yeah, it has this now. And that does a lot. I know that in Great League, I think there's one-shots. I'm pretty sure it one-shots because you win zeros. In Ultra League, it doesn't. So I'm still able to get 2 Ice Punches here, which is fine. I'm not sure if Registeel would have won it, to be honest. Again, in Great League, I know you win with Drifblim quite comfortably with shields up because you keep debuffing their attack. And I think that in Ultra League, it's probably about the same. But yeah, this is not great. I'm just going to hope there's no Fairy in the back. There very well could be because they fought for Switch very hard. They go for a couple mystical fires. It's whatever. I don't really care. Registeel can just eat all these moves anyway. I just want to see how good Drifblim is against this. I'm gonna swap in my Dragonite there after they use their energy because I want to just see what they have in the back, to be honest. And then in comes Jellicent, which is very fine. Oh, Drifblim actually loses all evens to Registeel. Well, I definitely should have swapped in my Registeel into that Drifblim, I guess. It's okay. Surf comes in, it's good bait. I honestly expect them to double bait there. Could have timed my move better there, but that's okay. But yeah, you'll see that I can just farm this completely down. Gets some more damage in with the Dragon Breaths on that Scrafty, and Superpower will do so much damage here. I also still have a Reggie that can deal with the Jellicent. So very fine here. Charge attack priority on that foul play. Superpower takes it out, and honestly, I should have thrown on the Superpower here. That's much cooler. Dragon Claw comes in, and that takes it out. Next battle. Dragonite into Alolan Senseless. Now, I did not think of this. This is actually a problem. I'm gonna swap in my Registeel. Kind of luckily, they answer with a Swampert instead of just throwing a Duron and demolishing me. Gonna go for the Zap Cannon here. I know people hate it when I keep doing this, but this is my nature, okay? I just always bait and debuff. That's just my plan. And I also just want them to not be able to farm me down after one Earthquake, because now you see they can't. They have to throw another Earthquake here. And here's what I'm thinking. I want to use one shield here, and simply the reason why. I'm gonna go for another Zap Cannon, by the way. Please, I hate the game, not the player. The reason why is because if I can now farm down with the Dragonite, and even have to throw another charge attack here, they can't even farm me down, then I can threaten another shield from the Alolan Sensors and perhaps sweep with my own. So let's find out here. Gonna go in with my own Dragonite. I can take 2 Hydros very comfortably after the double. I got the double attack drop, I believe. Yeah, it does nothing. Can take another one, sure, dude. And let's see what they do. They hard swap a Charizard, which is scary. Now, this is kind of the combination that I face a lot as well. And actually the combination that I struggle against the most as well is that Swampert Walrein Charizard. I call it the normie lineup. Not because it's what actual normies use. It's just the easiest to use, right? Swampert, Charizard, Walrein. It's just the most simple there is. Now I have to make a call. I'm actually thinking they get to 11 wing attacks. But luckily they don't bait there. I think if they baited, they actually may have gone there. But looks like they don't even throw the Dragon Claw, which is great for me. Because they will get to a Duron. And that Dragon Claw with it may have KO'd me then. So let's see. Duron coming in. Does a good chunk of damage. I don't think an Ice Punch of mine will do enough here because it's double resisted. Theirs will do a lot as well. They still have a little bit of Swampert too. I waited a turn there just to see if they would try to catch, which they tried to, and you see the Machos got me so close to getting KO'd here, but luckily I barely get to that drum because I'm XL, yes! I had a pretty fat Alolan Sensors there. Walrein, really difficult lead there. Gonna go into my Registeel as usual, and they swap in a Charizard. This is not a Registeel answer. Talonflame was fine here, but Charizard does not win this that well, or at all actually, I think. Zap Cannon will one-shot them with a couple lock-ons in. And with this attack drop, their swap was quite late. So I got to the Zap Cannon before they got to their first Blast Burn. And it doesn't even put me into the red. I think this isn't even another one because they were really slow. It may have been. I didn't count in this recording, but it doesn't matter. It's a Dragon Claw only. Doesn't even put me into the red. And I already know it's Giratina on the back. That's what all... They're all playing this the same way. It's as if they have a book. Gonna keep that Focus Blast for the Walrein, which I force out here anyway, so maybe it's not that great, but it's fine. I kind of maybe should have swapped in Alolan Sensors early because Giratina with so much energy is a little bit annoying for my Dragonite as well. They likely bait here. I think I'll shield it anyway. Because I don't think they will get to... They won't land the Earthquake regardless. Let's see. Drone coming in. This might barely KO. But it doesn't. Which is terrible for me. This is terrible for me. Gonna shield this up. Oh, I wouldn't say it's terrible, honestly. I still have that Alone Essential, of course. I still have a move on the Registeel. They go for the Giratina sweep here, however. Which I hate because it's Ancient Power. They're gonna try to go for the boost. I'm gonna go for the debuff here. Not sure if this is a good play, to be honest, because this does give them a lot of opportunity to farm more energy. And I don't even get the debuff. And that means that they also farm me down. So... what used to be good wasn't good anymore now. I'm gonna go in my Dragonite because I want them to throw Dragon Claws to use the energy on Dragon Claws, so they don't get that attack chance, the chance to raise their attack, but they throw Ancient Power anyway. And of course, they get the boosts. A match that seems unlosable becomes extremely losable at this point. Luckily, I do have some energy on that Alolan Sensor still, and if I can outpace here, Ancient Power coming in. Luckily, not another attack boost. And as we see the Shadow Claw come through, that means that my opponent did not have a charge attack already there. And I just get another Ice Punch off here. So I barely get that win. That should not even have been remotely this difficult. Because I didn't get the attack drop and they did get the boost. Alright, up against my friend Hikami from France. Leading that Clefable. Let's see the Swampert. There it is. Really quick swap by him. Maybe even expected it because Dragonite usually comes with Steel types. Doesn't throw the attack though, so I'm gonna go for the Zap Cannon here. See what he does. They never shield this. And it doesn't drop the attack, which is terrible. Do I shield this? No. Don't let that go. But this is really annoying. Luckily they still have to throw another one. But they don't, so I just you know, get a shield here, I guess. Would have been great if I could have reached, if I went for the Zap Cannon and actually got an attack drop here though. Because the problem is, these Hydros do so much when not attack dropped. It's Shadow on Shadow, Fragile on Fragile, almost does 50%. I have a pretty good Ultra League Dragonite, so I don't drop into the yellow, fortunately. And this is gonna come down to what they have in the back now. And they actually have another one. I don't care. This thing is useless against Clefable, so I'm just gonna let it all go. Hopefully my sensors can sweep here. They have a Charizard in the back. It's Shadow, which is great for me. Because you're going to see, this Ice Punch is going to do so much. This is Ice type, is also Steel. And it's showing, because the wing attacks don't really add up. He's trying to get the CMP with me. I'm not falling for that. I will definitely shield this, because it will roast the whole family, or melt the whole family of Alolan Sensors. They don't throw that Dragon Claw. I guess they realized too late that they wouldn't reach Blast Burn, because he did tell me later that he tried to throw Dragon Claw. In comes Clefable. This is looking okay at this point, but a Meteor Mash is a really good move, and it will do a lot of damage here. Gonna go for Ice Punch from this point. Maybe that's what I should have done in the first place anyway. They don't shield that, which is okay. I wonder if I could have farmed down maybe if I threw Drill Run. Not sure how that match. I'm not that really advanced Alolan Sensors player. More of a general advanced player, but I don't know the matchups too well, to be honest. Meteor Mash won't take me out yet. They're going to the Swampert to much of me down, but they're unable to. I have two moves here, and I think I will survive this Fairy Wind. It's a Mudshot clone. It's resisted. It doesn't do any damage at all. It's Ultra League. We have more HP, and I win this battle. So again, Swampert in the back, still win the battle. Again, if they threw Dragon Claw, they win that battle though. And maybe if I threw Driron, maybe I could have farmed down. I don't know. Because Driron is more efficient than the Ice Punch. Alright. In comes the Charizard again. I think we've seen this story before. One of these battles I lost though. As we see here, this opponent does throw immediately. And I decide to shield it this time. Let's see. Zap Cannon coming in. And as you see, Registeel's broken because it doesn't drop the attack here, unfortunately. I kind of hate that nerf. Either just remove the whole Zap Cannon debuff, but why make it an RNG thing now? I hate that. And you know what's the most annoying here? They do this again with the Giratina to farm me down completely and, you know, make it that they don't need switch. I kind of see through it and go into Alolan Sensor immediately, bait out that Walrein right away. It is an issue. Because this time I don't have a shield advantage, which means that they will get to those Earthquakes no matter what. If it was Shadow Walrein, may have been less of an issue, But I'm gonna try to call an Icicle Spear. It's not. And that's, I think that's over. I don't think I can win that battle. Drone coming through, they might even shield that. They don't even do that. And, well, at least I get the lock-on snipe here, so I guess I have that going for me. Gonna go for an attack drop here. Not sure if that's gonna do it for me at all, to be honest. They would get 2 moves on my Dragonite anyway, and I don't even get an attack drop. This is over. I'm gonna let it go and see how far this goes. He gets the 2 charge attacks regardless, so maybe my play was to, you know, snipe with the Dragonite and then catch later on Registeel potentially. I don't know. Tough battle. Well played. Alright, good lead for me. Really annoying swap in because I can't really swap in here. Ideally, I want to catch a Dragon Claw on a Alolan Sandslash. But it's risky because if I don't, they might flip this and they always have Walrein in the back. So either I'm really confident in catching that move, like catching at the very last second, or I just double shield here. Which I'm doing right now, but at least be prone to 2 Earthquakers in the back. So this is already looking really tough. Dragonite can double shield farm this down, but if it's Shadow Swamp, they can actually just farm it down at this point. Let's see what they bring in. It is the Walrein. I'm swapping in Registeel immediately. And I think they do about 6 Power Snows there, which I memorize here. That will be maybe crucial for later. And then straight Zap Cannon. No attack drop again, which is really bad, to be honest. Because this Earthquake might put me into the red now, I think. It does. Because that's unfortunate. Otherwise, they needed 2 Earthquakes. They need to throw more energy at me. They survived this Focus Blast as well, which is not great. I think it's a really good Swampert too. Look at that. They even get to another one on my Dragonite now. And I hate that because I need that superpower for the Walrein. So I can't bring in Dragonite now either. I have to take this on my Alolan Sandslash, which put me into Earthquake range. And that probably means the game's over. Unless I can get a catch or a catch and a CMP at the same time. But they didn't throw the Earthquake right away. So not possible. And I lose this battle. I think even if I got that, I would have lost that. So, yeah, pretty good record. I think these weren't even the best of my wins. These were some good games that I played, though. It's a really cheesy team. It's difficult sometimes to make it work, especially against Walrein, Charizard, Swampert teams, which are all over the place. If you run into Fairies, that's great. If you run into Giratina, that's awesome. Unless they, you know, try to farm me down on the Registeel. I think Alolan Sandslash is a great core breaker right now. And yeah, it got me to veteran. So there's that. Hope you liked the video, the team, and